Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about defining polynomials. Anytime I have a polynomial, that means I'm going to have some sort of function equals ax to some value, let's say 4, for example. And each of the succeeding powers is going to be a power less. So ax to the fourth plus bx cubed plus cx squared plus dx plus e. Now, of course, we're more familiar with ax squared plus bx plus c, but all this is more power, so therefore it is longer, requiring more letters. And so you simply adjust it. Now, these are called polynomials. Poly, meaning many. Nomial, nome, name, or name. So many names, okay? So in this case, we have something with many names. Really, in reality, what we have is many terms. So with many terms, we come up with this is a chunk, this is a chunk, here we go. Each of those is considered an individual piece. Now, again, little vocabulary. These are called terms. Alright, these terms are separated by operators, separated by plus or minus signs. So every one of these is a term. Now, in this case, we have a leading term. A leading term, of course, because it's leading. Now, the fact that it's first is important because in standard form they are going to be indeed first. But however, the thing that really makes it a leading term is the fact that it is the highest power. So leading term equals highest power. Now, a leading term has, of course, a couple key pieces. One of the first things we're going to have is a leading coefficient. A leading coefficient would in this case be A. In fact, it's always A because whatever it is, whatever the power is, the A is going to be listed first. And so if you have a leading term of A, you're also going to be able to do a leading term test. The leading term test tells you a couple things. First of all, it tells you, number one, the power. So in this case, we have a fourth power. The leading term will also give you the leading coefficient. It will give you the graph's orientation. So it'll give you the leading power and it'll also give you the orientation. Both of those two things are very, very important. Another thing that the leading term test will tell you is it will give you the possible number of zeros. Now, possible number of zeros is the same thing as the possible number of solutions. Possible number of x-intercepts. Zeros, solutions, and x-intercepts all mean the same thing. Also, additionally, roots. So roots, zeros, solutions, x-intercepts. All the same thing. This, by the way, is the fundamental theorem of algebra. Fundamental theorem of algebra says that there are up to the number of the highest power of solutions. So in this case, power of 4, there could be up to 4 solutions. Now, that's not necessarily saying there are, but there could be up to that many. That is indeed a fundamental theorem of algebra. Also, the leading term test gives you the possible number of turning points. Possible number of turning points, but again, it's only a possible number. It's not an exact number. We'll have to do a couple other things to determine that. But all of this is based off the leading term, which is the term with the highest power, leading coefficient, leading term test. Now, let's deal with